Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be Harry Muppet. We are going to be casting a Masters level game here. Down in the bottom left side of the map, we do have our red Zerg player Blade, and down the bottom right side of the map, we do have our blue Zerg player Einstein. Now, these guys are not rolling in as random. They are going to be rolling in as Zerg. Each player did choose Zerg. Each player may or may not have chosen to go against another Zerg, but I can tell you right now that ZVZ is one of the toughest matchups for a Zerg player, and the action is all about the start of the game. No, it's very, very rare that you see a Zerg player really start picking up the pace at around the 15-minute mark when both players have a couple of expansions and have their armies starting to get big. No, with ZVZ, the action usually happens within the first 10 minutes or so, and usually there is quite a lot of action happened within the first 10 minutes. And if you have a look at the length of the video, then you know I'm probably going to be right, because this video is only going to be about 10-15 minutes long. So there we go. We're going to keep going on. We are going to play. That is a very fast spawning pool. That went down before the 10th worker came out. This is a rush. I'm going to say it's a rush. It's not a 6-pool rush, but it is a 10-pool rush. So that is a very nice early Wings of Liberty rush build from the Zerg player. I thought he might be getting speed, but no, that is just to get out an extra drone. He's got the Overlord out now. He's going to just save up lava at this point, I think, and then he is going to build 3 Zerglings, or at least 2 Zerglings. There we go, there comes the first batch of Zerglings coming down. He's going to get the gas now. The red player, he has not even started his spawning pool yet. He is going for a hatch first. He's barely started building his hatchery, and already he is in a lot of trouble. I mean a lot of trouble. He has no defense. This spawning pool is going to take ages to come up, and after that he can start building the spine crawlers, he can start building the queens, but it is going to take so long for all that shit to start happening. The spawning pool isn't even half done yet, and the lings are on the way. The Overlord comes out, he sees the lings, he needs to build the spawning pool even faster, but there is no way to speed up building production, and the only thing you can really hope for at this point is for the lings to attack this hatchery and not go for the workers in his main base. And that is what the lings are going to do. They're going to go for the hatchery, so he is going to have the time to fortify his main base, because these lings are just going to take forever to warp down this building, to beat down this building. So there we go, the spawning pool is finally done. He's getting some lings produced. He's getting a couple of spine crawlers produced. Actually, this is actually an enemy spine crawler. This is crazy, he's going down. He's got about 10 drones on it though, so it is going to get cancelled at the last second. The drone is going to move over. He's going to produce another one right there, and that is a great spine crawler placement. If he manages to annoy these guys long enough so that this one actually gets built up, then it can take out the spawning pool. And spine crawlers, this spine crawler, I don't think it's in range of this spine crawler, so he should be right, but it's going to take a long time. He's got to do some damage here. He's got to get these drones off it. He's not going to be able to, so this was a nice plan, but it's not going to work. He's going to back off, and the blue player has chosen not to continue the baneling push. He's chosen to back off a little bit, get his economy up, and gets baneling's nest out. So with the gas he's getting in now, he should be able to get a nice amount of banelings, and of course banelings are going to work very, very well against pure Zergling defense. Now we do have both players getting ling speed at the moment, so that's really not going to affect the outcome, but of course banelings against lings with speed is going to mean that the banelings are not as good. Of course the lings do have to engage them, because if the lings just ignore the banelings, then the banelings will just roll in here. Ooh, and start taking out drones, so he really has to worry about that. Quite a large amount of lings here. He's already whopping in some banelings, so there's 12 lings and 4 banelings versus 11 lings. And of course we do have queens on both sides of the map by this point. There we go, there's a queen. He hasn't got a queen. He has moved a queen down there, but he doesn't have another queen here, so he's only got 1 queen total. There we go, he's morphing in a bunch more banelings. He should have no problems taking out this army. This queen might be a little bit harder to deal with, but we'll have to see. Hopefully he doesn't waste any banelings on the queen. There he goes, he's running him past. The queen taking out the banelings, and there we go, 2 more banelings coming in, take out half the lings. That was a very nice hit. There we go, there's 1 ling left, and there's about 10 of these guys. The speed is going to come out beautifully, but he's still attacking the hatchery. He really needs to move in. He really needs to start getting these drones taken out. Of course, the Spire is down there, the spine crawler. But there we go. I mean, he's got to go in. He's got to do some stuff. He's got a ton of lings coming out. The red player has a ton of lings out, and he does have the advantage. The blue player might be able to take out this hatchery, but he still hasn't got his own hatchery back at his own base, so he's not really buying himself anything by taking out this hatchery. He's setting the red player back, but he's not pushing forward at the same time, so they're still going to be both stuck on one base. But here we go, the red player finally getting some banelings out, and this is going to shut down the blue player's offensive quite a lot. The hatchery is going to go down, but I don't think he's going to be able to go in there. You really just sacrifice some lings, get in there, get the hatchery down. If you don't kill this hatchery, then that entire attack is pretty much wasted. Get in there, kill the damn hatchery, blue player. You've got to get in there and kill the damn hatchery. Here he goes. He's going to have a go. He's splitting up his forces. The baneling goes down. The lings come in. They've got to take out the hatchery. They've just got to do it. If they don't take out the hatchery, there we go. The hatchery goes down. And I am going to say that that was worth it, delaying this hatchery again. He's got his own hatchery finally coming out. And the blue player has just bought himself an advantage. He lost a lot of lings there, but he has bought himself an advantage. He was hoping for a little bit more, but I think that was still a good play, and getting the hatchery down at the last minute is exactly what he needs to do. Now, if we have a look at the income, he's 14, he's 2 workers behind the red player, and that's because he really hasn't been able to take out any drones so far. So, really, he needs to get some basic defenses up, and then just blow up his economy, just go nuts, because he has got the hatchery advantage now, and he needs to get the worker advantage to take advantage of that, because a hatchery sitting there by itself is absolutely useless unless it's got some drones mining on it. So he's got to push the drones right now, but the red player, he hasn't completely knocked out his army. The red player's still got a fairly big army, so I don't know. There's a few too many lings going out to take out the banelings. He's trickling the banelings in now. It's a very, very good tactic. And he's really just shut down that blue offensive there. And, really got to get some defenses down. I would say at least 2 to 3 spine crawlers per base. Because I don't think he can really catch up here in terms of lings on defense. And he really does need to work on his drone production as well. You can see him getting out a couple of drones there. So he's trying to catch up. He's actually in the lead a little bit. It's 24 to 15, so that's a good choice. That's a very good choice from the blue player, going for that push on economy. Now he just has to make sure he survives this incursion. And this looks like a dubious proposition at best, because that is a lot of banelings. I'm not sure how he's going to survive. He really needs more spine crawlers here. He needs to have a whole bunch across here, maybe another couple of queens to block the ramp. That would be an excellent choice here, because lings against this bunch is just not going to work. You've got one spine crawler here. It might be able to take out some banelings, but you never know. Here we go. Banelings come in. Most of them die, but they did take out the spine crawler. They're going to go into the main base. The main base does not have a spine crawler at all. This is a huge mistake, not getting a spine crawler back here. The baneling's going to come in. They're going to get a bit trapped, but here we go. This one hits all of those drones. Doesn't quite kill them, but it's quite nasty. A bunch of lings come out. Going to go back on the defense, but he got quite a lot of workers there. And you can see he's back down to 14, so he's back down to having not enough workers. And the Zerg player, the red Zerg player, has completely turned the tables here. He's continuing this push. He's not going for roaches. He's not really improving his own economy. He's going for the kill now. He saw how well that previous attack went, and he wants to see some more blue Zerg blood, and he is going to go in there again with the banelings. I'm surprised neither of these players has actually got baneling speed. I love that upgrade. I really do, but we're not seeing that much baneling speed so far. However, these chubby little bastards are going to go in. They are going to try and do some damage. The drone's trying to run, but they ran in the exact wrong position. There we go. That's just a bunch of drones being taken out there. It's very, very bad. And he's continuing to move over there. He's just keeping the pressure up constantly. And it's 15 versus 13, but these drones are in a disarray. Half of them aren't even mining. And I gotta think that the red Zerg player is just, he's just, as long as he keeps the pressure on, I don't think he's going to have a problem. Because every time he goes in there, he's trading an equal army to the blue, perhaps a little bit more, but I mean, he's taken out workers. He's constantly hitting the workers, and here we go. Workers just getting wiped out. I personally do not understand why there is not a spine crawler in the back of this base, because I mean, it's really basic. To get a spine crawler back there, you defend your base. I mean, I understand he's low on minerals, but I would have done that like 2 waves ago. This is like wave 4 of the red player's advancement of lings and banelings, and he just hasn't been getting it, and he really needs to, because not only does it kill lings, but it also distracts them from going after the drones. Obviously, it's not that helpful versus the bloody banelings, but it's very helpful versus the lings, and there we go. The blue player leaving the game, and I do have to say that spine crawlers at this base, he had one here, but he really should have put a few more. He must have known that a counter-offensive was coming, or he should have guessed anyway. And especially after the first lot came in, he drove them off without too many losses, but a couple more, the waves just kept coming and coming and coming, and he really didn't go for the spine crawlers when he had the chance. He got put on the back foot with the first wave, and he never really recovered other than just making lings and banelings. But at that point, I mean, he just couldn't produce them as fast as the red player, and they weren't defending as fast. He needed the defensive advantage. He had the queens, but it wasn't enough. He needed the spine crawlers. So anyway, there we go. Very nice, and some very nice play here from our red Zerg player in defending that early push. I mostly blame the blue player for going for the hatchery instead of coming down here and going for these guys, because early lings, and they might have been able to take out the spine crawl and the queen. Probably not, but it's better to do damage out down here than just hit a hatchery that's in the middle of building, because that really doesn't do much. I mean, you take it out if they've got enough workers, so it's actually going to stop them, but yeah, at that early in the game, I mean, it's very rare that they'll have enough resources to fully build off 2 bases anyway, so yeah, I mean, there we go. So there's a few mistakes over the game, I think, the blue player, but there we go. So he went in there, he tried, didn't quite work, and he couldn't hold up the defense when the red player went for the counter. And the red player was very persistent. He was constantly in there, constantly doing a lot of damage, and he never let the pressure up. So some very good play from our red player Blade. And there we go. This has been the ZVZ Masters League. Very well played. Thank you very much for watching. This has been Hairy Muppet.